Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I have with me once again Pastor Yomi Olujuyigbe, and he is a retired pastor of the New Covenant Church, and he is into organic farming. He is farming, making sure that he farms correct vegetables and little plants that he consumes, and teaches others to do the same, so that all these consuming chemicals that are destroying people. Pastor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
I am very happy to have you once again and to discuss this thing about organic farming.
Yeah.
Tell us how you got into it. Oh, you read you are a Greek expert.
Well, I read Greek in the university many years ago.
Good.
1974 to 78.
One of the original 5 universities. Which one?
University of Ife in those days.
Yeah,
now Abafemi Awolowo
the one they say the only university, and then every other.
Yes. So, and then I did a master's degree in agricultural economics.
Okay. By the way.
Yes.
University of Ife.
Yes.
Had one of the most beautiful campuses. I mean, and one of the most green campuses. I used to go there in those days, and it was just
a beautiful place.
It was a beautiful place.
Whoever were the architect
that designed it,
they were just beautiful, fantastic,
beautiful. So you were doing a Greek
yes.
in an environment that was very suitable for it.
Yes, and we had teachers who could teach us well, who held our hands to learn.
Yes.
But my experience with farming and things actually started from home.
Okay.
I grew up on the farm with my father.
Okay.
And even though I was not physically strong, my father will always say to me, whatever little portion you are going to be able to do it very well, so that I will not have to come back tomorrow to redo it.
You went to school at the time we used to sing Ishe Agbe, Ishe Ilewa, Eniko, Shishe Ajale, Iwe Kikola, Isi Oko.
So it was that go to school,
yes,
but learn
farming
to farm.
Yes.
Now, I find a whole lot of people did that in our time.
Yes.
Not too many people do that now.
Mm-hmm.
But I find also that a lot of people, when they are beginning to think of retirement, now are thinking of, I want to take to a Greek.
But some of them never learned it when they were young.
I want to take to farming.
Yes.
Now, it can be tricky.
Yes.
Because farming you can be exposed to a lot of vagaries that the difficulties of nature and things like that.
Especially when we are still doing subsistence farming.
Yes. Now, so my interests in farming and gardening started way back.
From home.
Now, studying agriculture in the university also now added value to it. So my interest in ensuring that what we consume is good started about 1985.
Okay.
And that was at a time when I began to see that we were already getting into the use of chemicals. Way back 1985.
Fertilizers.
Way back 1985.
Wow.
The seeds that we were starting to plant were not seeds that were part of the harvest of last year.
Oh, as far back as then?
Yes, sir.
Had they started bringing seedlings
Way
in?
back 1985, I remember that I had to go supervise a project for someone at Uzeba in Edo State. And the corn seed that we had to use, we had to buy, and it wasn't part of the harvest of last year. When I was growing up with my father, you would take part of the harvest of last year, the very good ones, that's what you're planting in the new season.
Yes.
Things started changing at about 1980, 82, 83, 84. By 1985, it was already taking root. Now, so what we have now is that there are people who specialize in seed production. And they do it in such a way that you keep going back to them to buy seeds.
They become monopoly, kind of a monopoly.
You have to keep going back to buy seed every season. If you harvest and you think you have a product to plant next season,
it can't reproduce.
It will not reproduce.
That's genetically modified.
Most of them will not reproduce. So we're already in a situation that we need to ask ourselves, what changed from what my father would do to what I now do? Now, so we've got to be very careful. Now, you go to the market and you buy a piece of yam. But because you are not going to be able to consume everything in one day,
You cut it.
you cut it. As you're cutting white yam,
Yes.
it's turning brown. The
Immediately.
face is turning brown immediately. 2 days after that, half of the remaining part of that
It's
piece
getting rotten.
is bad, smelly. When I was growing up, you cut yam, you keep it for a whole week or 2 or 3. The only thing that would change is that the face will cake,
Yes, dry.
but it remains white.
White.
Nothing goes bad. What's the difference? There were no chemicals used at that time. Now we use a lot of chemical fertilizers. Here is what goes wrong. Over 90% of farmers who produce what we eat in this country today are not educated. But they have heard that if you use chemical fertilizer, your crop will grow big. That is true. If it's vegetable, the leaves will be broad, and
And it will grow very fast.
that is true. But that's how much they know. One, a number of them don't know which fertilizer
It's good for
is
which?
good for which crop.
Aha.
Most of them don't know what quantities to use to apply to what crop. So you find wrong fertilizers applied in wrong doses, pumped in so that the thing can grow big. Now, so when we do our harvests, you find that your yam comes out big, all right, but you cut it open, and your white yam begins to turn brown almost immediately.
So we're eating poison.
2
That's
days,
what it is.
2 days, 3 days down the line, half of the remaining has gone bad, smelly. Why? Chemical fertilizers. Now, apart from the fact that chemical fertilizers poison our soils, chemical fertilizers don't add any value to your soil at all.
It actually destroys the natural nutrients in the soil.
Now, if your farm was here and there is a stream that flows on
by
the lower,
by the side.
yes,
When it rains,
when it rains, the fertilizer you apply here leaches into the soil and goes into that stream. Now, down there is a village,
and they are
and it is the stream that they get their waters from.
you have poison.
So there is a whole lot that is going wrong. The other day I heard, I saw some information from Gombe State. The governor was talking, had brought in some medical consultants to come and liaise with the Ministry of Health in Gombe State, because some of their districts, kidney failure was getting rampant. So they wanted to find out what was wrong. This time, it was lead in their waters.
lead.
Lead in their waters.
Lead poisoning.
Lead in their waters. And they began to find lead in the tissues of their vegetables. Okay, so let me go back to chemical fertilizers. Now, with yam and maize and corn, and cowpea and all of that, maybe fairly nicely you subject them to high temperature before you consume. But your vegetables, you barely heat them.
You take.
For instance, those of us who like to take vegetable salad,
Yes.
I know
Lettuce,
people,
you
I know
just-
people who take at least 3 days a week vegetable salad. Nothing in that will you heat. Nothing. At best, you put the things in vinegar.
Yes.
Now, vinegar is supposed to take care of the germs on the outside of the tissues of the plant.
Not inside.
It doesn't go inside. So what we do is we consume the residues of chemical fertilizer on a daily basis in our vegetables. So my concern mostly is with the production of vegetables. So what's the solution? It's easy. I convert wastes.
into
compost.
compost manure.
Yes.
When we were young, I don't know in your part of
Everywhere.
When we were young, we had these night soil men that gathered these things, and then they turned it with some leaves, turned it into compost manure that people actually buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and with today, it should be so easy for us to do that behind our houses.
There is so much that we can do with waste around us. So what I do is I turn garden waste and kitchen waste. Of course, you sort
you mix.
you sort the kitchen
it.
waste.
Yes.
There are portions that you do not add to it.
Plastic
there are,
and other
Yeah,
things.
there are other portions that are useful. kitchen waste and garden waste, I put them together. Now, what happens in composting is that there's a natural process that God has allowed. When plants are standing, their leaves will drop, rain will fall, sun will come. And then over a period of time, those things will decompose and they become part of the soil, good soil.
Yes.
Now, you can work on that.
You can replicate
having that
that.
understanding. You can do that in a space of 6 weeks because you know exactly what it takes. You know the science behind it. And you have good compost in your hand that you can apply to your vegetables. And you have, before we started this, I was sharing with you. Myself and my wife will harvested some tomatoes from our little garden around our house some time ago. And we just kept about 6 fruits in a saucer on our dining table. 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. They were there. Nothing went wrong with them because there were no chemicals. Now, so.
If you buy the one from the market now, in 3 days it's gone.
2 days. Water is already coming out. My wife bought carrot from the market some time ago. In 2 days, it was drying like plastic that you put in fire. And I said to myself, no, carrot at best will begin to dry.
But not,
it should not turn. It should not turn to plastic. You could pull it. That's how serious that is with us.
Speaking of compost manure, because some of our viewers may be interested. What kind of waste can you use for compost manure? You have banana peels, you have orange peels, you have food, leftover of meat, of fish, of all those kind.
Now, in general terms, there are 3 categories of wastes that you put into compost, and you have to have the percentages. There is the ones that in layman's terms, I'll use the greens and the browns and the colors.
Okay.
Now, the greens are if you just mow your lawn.
Yes.
Or some leaves that are not hard, are not glossy, you mash them and put them someplace.
So the ones that are not hard and glossy.
They are not hard and glossy. Soft tissue that would decompose in
quickly.
Good time. Good time. And then you have the browns. The browns are dried leaves, cardboards that are not colored, and things like that. They go some portion of sawdust that is not from polished wood.
Yes.
Those ones are the browns. And now the colors are the ones that you just mentioned. Banana peels, rotten tomato, rotten pepper, and all of those things. That's the combination that you have in your compost. Not leftover food like your eba with soup around it. No.
Oh, those are not useful.
No. You don't put oil and salt and things.
Oh, that will destroy the...
No, because you are trying to create a microenvironment for microorganisms to work on.
Yes. So if you go and put salt...
If you put salt and oil,
will kill them.
You will kill them. You are asking those tiny
microorganisms
beings I'm creating an environment for you to work.
To eat these things up so that...
I'll give you the appropriate temperature, appropriate moisture, do your work. And they will do it. And then you have something in your hand, healthy.
Yes.
Healthy. We need to get back to the natural.
Can some people begin to do this compost manure once again commercially?
Yes.
Because you see, when I was young, it used to be done commercially, not far from my house.
Yes.
Now that we're talking of unemployment all over the place, can some people begin to collect these things as the pantakers are going around collecting metal?
In actual fact, there are I do trainings for people, individuals and groups and all of that, to let them know how minimal in terms of costs that you can start.
Yes.
How minimal in terms of cost that you can start, and you begin to generate something. Right there in my house now, I have a small machine that I use to break down those things, because the smaller the sizes are, the faster
you have reduced the work of the microorganisms.
Yes. So yes, it can be done commercially. There are people who will be happy to know that they can get compost to buy, so that they don't put fertilizers in their vegetables in particular. Because you are not hitting them.
You are poisoning yourself. Yeah. Now in America, in Europe, you can go to a shop
Yes.
and ask for organic.
That's right.
It will be more expensive.
Yes, sir.
But you can be sure that indeed this is organic.
That's what it is.
Meaning from the time of planting to the time of harvesting, and that biomaterial were used to chase out the bugs.
That's right.
And not sprayed. They were not sprayed with
That's
chemicals.
it. That's it.
So you can be sure. So when I travel, I go to a place and I want organic fruits.
In fact, before they are certified as organic, it starts with your soil.
Even the
They
soil,
want to
yes.
be sure that for a period of time, no chemical has been used in that soil.
Good.
The seed that you are putting in the soil, and there's so much for us to learn, even through gardening, about the Word of God. The soil has to be right. The seed must be good.
Yes.
Create the condition for that to grow and to germinate and to blossom and to bear fruit.
Yes.
Yes, that's the way it works. It's the Word of God.
So the whole thing about our people knowing this, because I'm asking myself, can I go to any market in Nigeria
And be sure.
say that I want organic and be sure it is organic? Oh, they will tell me it's organic, but is it
Now,
organic all the way?
No, most people who sell things in the market don't know where their produce is coming from.
That's another problem.
They have no idea. It has gone through 3-4 different hands before it got to them. They clean them up, make them look beautiful. That's the truth. Now, there are some individuals now who are starting to do some work by doing something. They have greenhouses. If you have your greenhouse, you can control everything about what is happening
From the
in there.
soil to
From
the
the
harvesting.
soil to the end. But how much can we produce from such places
From
for
a
now?
little greenhouse behind the house.
For now? This has to go all out.
Hey, Pastor Yomi, you are just, I'm just discovering that you have an assignment. You may have to look for experts like you to form some kind of consortium to be educating people. Because a lot of people are completely ignorant about this. And like you said, the farmers don't know, they are
No,
not
they don't.
educated. And then I don't know the organizations like NAFDAC and others that are supposed to be concerned with the safety of our food. I don't know how much the work they are doing. There was a time that I was worried about these mangoes and fruits that they ripe with chemicals.
Carbide. Yes. And plantain.
Ha.
And banana.
Yeah, and the people who sell these things, who do these things, don't, like you said, they are so ignorant, they don't know that they are poisoning people
have no
with
idea.
this. They just want to collect these raw fruits that are not yet matured and then put these chemicals, and in 3 days, 2 days, the thing is looking ripe.
Yeah.
And we don't see, and they do it along the road. And we don't seem to have any serious agencies that are monitoring this. So at the end of the day, our health costs skyrocketing.
Yes. Sir, the problem really is that we have a very, very large unregulated market for our foods.
Most of our food is
So
unregulated.
really, we have problems on our hands. A number of those who had tried to want to export agricultural produce
They were
outside
they have been
Nigeria.
rejected.
Yes, sir.
Our yams were rejected from
Yes, sir,
America.
because too much of chemical, too much of this, too much of that.
Can you imagine? We are the yam country.
Yeah.
They have accepted in the US, they are accepting yams from Ghana.
From Ghana.
And are refusing yams from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And we are the real pounded yam country.
Yes, we produce most yam, but in what qualities? That's the point. So this is a serious issue that has gone beyond us to the world outside there.
Yeah.
And we have been tagged as a nation that has no idea of how to regulate what we eat. So they are saying to us, eat whatever you want to eat, but don't send it to us.
Yes. Even though most of those who eat this yam in America are Nigerians, but American government is concerned with what the Nigerians
That's right.
there eat.
What that is going to cost to them.
Yes.
Because a number of them are on the equivalent of their NHS.
Yes,
Insurance, health insurance. So if, as a Nigerian who's been there for many years, maybe you are now an American, whatever, if anything goes wrong, America takes charge of your health issues. So So they are saying to us, if you are not regulating things and you are not keeping your slate clean, don't mess it up with us.
Would our circumstance be better if we've, by the grace of God, someday had mechanized farming, more modern farming, where you can have huge farms and you can actually locate? So a place like ShopRite can locate where they get all their food from.
We're beginning to have some Nigerians who are going through trainings to become certified organic producers.
Oh, I'm happy to hear
Very few yet. Very few. Now, and don't be surprised, the regulation comes from the US.
Oh.
Yes.
We don't have it.
No. We don't have... How much do we know to regulate by ourselves? It's not as if we don't have the scientists.
Yeah, because we have people like you.
Yes. But America has... Except if you are saying we are not exporting to America forever, they will not bother about you. But if in the next 20 years you are thinking you want to export anything to America, they say we would like to regulate what you are doing in Nigeria with regards to food. If they don't certify it, you cannot even call yourself an organic producer. Yes, but let's take it.
I mean,
because if we don't put ourselves under discipline, there are certain areas where we will not discipline ourselves.
Can you imagine? I like olive oil, for example.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get truly organic extra virgin olive oil? You know, they mix all kinds of chemicals together and call it olive oil.
Yes.
And you ask yourself, how could people be so ignorant that what people consume, they don't know that the cause and effect relationship between the chemicals you are putting this now and what eventually happens down the line with the person that consumes it?
I think it comes down to integrity.
Also.
In the heart. Integrity of the heart. Apart from
ignorance. Apart from ignorance.
There are people who know.
But they want to make quick money.
Yes. So it's double jeopardy. There are people who don't know. So they'll mix anything with everything. Like you described. Those who sell fruits and vegetables by the roadside. They'll dip the things. They want to wash sand. You have sand on the vegetable that you just harvested. And so you think the best place to wash it clean is inside the drain. That the water that's coming from there is smelly. The color is dark. You can see floating things on it because you want to wash the sand off. Excuse me.
Would have been better if you sold it with the sand. Let the person who buys it
now
wash
so
it.
It's that person doesn't know or he doesn't care. Now there are those who know, but they're like, I need to make money. So now we have this. It would take a whole lot of the whole of society to know how to deal with it.
To rise up.
But there's a place to start. Mm-hmm. There's a place to start. I can tell you, sir, behind our church building, one of our buildings in Abuja here, the women in our church have a little piece of land.
Okay.
Where they grow their vegetables.
Okay.
And they have employed one or two young people to help manage it. During the dry season, they irrigate it. In the rainy season, natural rain comes on it. Every Sunday, they harvest vegetables. And those women who have made little contributions to the work, they go home with...
They take their share.
And everything there is non-chemical.
Organic.
Yes.
That's somewhere to begin.
Yes, so that's what I'm coming to.
So it means we
in
can...
small groups.
So it means you can train pastors of various churches to say, if you have a little land behind your church, you can begin there.
I have had to go to Yola because a lady who heard that I do trainings for people came to Abuja and said, please, can you take me through? So I took her through in two and a half hours. And then she says, no, there's no way I want to. Please, you need to come over to Yola. I had to go to Yola for 4 days because she had a large farm and then a group of farmers who work on the farm there.
to
he
train
says,
them.
please, can you come and help me talk and demonstrate? Because we have enough there to be able.
Luckily, you have a studio. So it means, in addition to traveling, it means you can do some some
Yes.
methodical way. You can
Yes.
put these things into videos.
Yes.
Because we're talking of life and death.
It's life, yes.
We're talking of life and death.
Yes.
A lot of us are consuming chemicals that are killing us. So thank you for the work you do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I've been speaking with Pastor Yomi Olujuyigbe, and he is an agricultural expert, apart from being a retired pastor, and he is talking about his garden and organic food he gets from his garden and the training that he offers people. May God bless your work.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.